Hey, TT has seen so many videos going around talking about how families have changed in regards to who hosts Thanksgiving and who pays for what for Thanksgiving, and how hosting Thanksgiving can be so expensive, how the economy is not the same as obviously when we were growing up and families were doing it. When my mom and I would say in the 80s, right? Let's just talk about the 80s and the 90s. So at that time, not only my mom was living, but her sister-in-laws were living as well. There were three of them. They were extremely close. And the way that they did it is they rotated holidays of who was hosting, right? But regardless of who was hosting, everyone contributed. So they would bring two dishes each. Of course, the host would probably have the main dishes, and then the sister-in-laws would bring other dishes. As their children grew older, which would be kind of my aunts and uncles, they started to bring major dishes as well. So all of the responsibility wasn't on the host, okay? And then also, let's think about the economy. Yes, the economy was different then. Everybody keeps saying that. The economy was different then, but so was the cost of living. It wasn't so much the money that everybody keeps focusing on. It was how the money was spent and who spent the money. I'll give you an example. So my mom is from Mississippi. She was from the Mississippi Delta. She was 97 years old when she passed away, right? So she came from a time, that silent generation, where they truly believed in spend a dollar, save a dime. But they also came from a time where saving and growing their own food was super important. And they thought about the entire family when they did those things. We would go down to Mississippi every year, and one of my fondest memories is how they would like come back with these large trash bags of collard greens, beans, all of the good things, right? My mom, whether if she went by herself, her and my dad, they would come back with garbage bags. And mind you, it was only me, her, and my dad. I'm an only child. But my dad's siblings, which would be my mom's sister-in-laws, they had 3, 4 kids or more apiece. Now, my mom, they weren't about like, okay, I'm only looking out for self. That's one thing. So they would come back with these large trash bags of all of this stuff, right? And her sister-in-laws would sit in the kitchen and they would shuck peas and cut up greens and freeze them and give them out to each individual household. Everybody got a part of it. And honestly, that's what we're missing. Because just as many videos as I see as far as, who's hosting, why it costs so much money, I see just as many videos talking about we're cutting our family off, we're not dealing with our family. So if you're not dealing with your family, that's what family is. If you're not dealing with your family, and I'm not here to say that, you should stay in a toxic situation. But if you're not in a toxic situation, don't let this internet get you into a situation where you're all alone. People are losing their stamps. They're losing all these different things. But if they had their family, then family is who would help you out during those times. That's what that generation, that's what your grandparents and everything understood. They understood that family was what made you wealthy. You ever hear the saying, live to be missed and not just remembered? I fear that so many people are going to be not missed when they're gone. And literally because you decided during this lifetime that you didn't need anyone else. You didn't need your family. You could go and get you a chicken box for Thanksgiving. But I'm here to tell you at 52 years old, when times get hard, family is the one that you nurture. You nurture your family and you nurture those relationships so that you can all lean on each other when it gets hard out here. Yes, the 80s, they made, things were cheaper. But I think I looked at one of my mom's pay stubs. She was making like $3 an hour. $3 an hour. She owned her own home. My dad passed away when I was 10. She never skipped a beat. I went to private school. And I now own her home. So it's not really what you make, it's what you spend. That's one thing that she taught me. We live beyond our means. If your rent is too high, find somewhere that's going to be cheaper. Is it going to be what you like or what you want? Probably not. But it's stepping stones, right? I'm not going to struggle. I'm just not going to struggle. I'll step out of a situation before I'm not going to be house poor. Anyway, I'm rambling. Get in touch with your family. Speak to your family. Talk through some things. And even if you just have one person in your family that you deal with, make sure you keep that connection with them. Because I'm going to tell you, when things get hard, you really don't want to be out here by yourself. All right. As always, TT loves you. Happy holidays.